Hi, everybody. This is Paul Guertin, and I'm down here at the new public library with Dorothy Chaffee. Dorothy is one of our most prominent local artists, and she's here today to show us some of her really, really nice oil paintings. I think they're all oil paintings. I'm going to have her talk in a few minutes. It's the Norfolk Arts Council is sponsoring the show, and without further ado, I think we'll ask Dorothy a few questions. Dorothy, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I've always wanted to show my works, and now I have the opportunity.
Well, we're very glad that you have that opportunity, and we're going to go around and look at a bunch of your your paintings. But I do know that many of them are Monhegan Island in Maine. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes, in Maine, off the coast of Port Clyde. It's very easterly up after Portland.
And why is that an important part of your life?
Well, I think I sort of came into my own when I went there. I left my family at home for a week, and I went up there, and I discovered that I loved painting, and I loved the ambience and the ocean and the atmosphere, and the teacher, Don Stone, was wonderful. So I've had a wonderful experience up there.
You get roughly 25 paintings here, I think, and except for 3 or 4 of them, they're all Monhegan Island. Now, over how many years do you think that spans?
I think about 30 years, roughly, yeah.
You started out as 30 years. Well, let's see. That made you 15, right, when you started?
Oh, you're so cute. No, I'm a little older.
So you started painting a little bit older in life?
Yes, I did, actually. I raised my family and felt as though it was time for me to do something. I always wanted to paint, but I had a duty to my husband and myself, raised 6 children, and we felt as though we wanted to do it right. Then I started to express myself, got into the theater, and got into other things that I really, really have enjoyed doing. And this is sort of a result of that accomplishment,
Hey, well, let's talk a little bit about some of your paintings. This one here is Stony Brook, 1995. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's just that I've always loved Stony Brook ever since I moved here almost 50 years ago. And I just find it's a haven there. It's so peaceful and beautiful. I don't think we have pond lilies down there. I don't think I've ever seen any, but I had to add them because that's kind of a specialty of mine. But the turtles are certainly there, and the avians,
Well, everybody's very familiar with Stony Brook. I think most people in town have been down there. Well, we're going to walk around a little bit and see some of your other paintings. So why don't we just take a little walk? All right, Dorothy, here is one of Monhegan Island. It's called Blackhead. What can you tell us about this?
This is a famous place on Monhegan, at the base of Blackhead, one of the highest cliffs on the island. And you can see the ocean is coming in very turbulently, and it is a beautiful, beautiful sight, and it's been done by many artists. But I just love to sit there and paint it myself.
Did you ever go in the water there?
I think you'd die if you went in that water.
Really? It's a little too turbulent?
It's very slippery rocks, so you have to be very, very careful.
All right, well, let's move on to this next one, Dorothy. All right, here's another Monhegan Island harbor with some boats and a building. What can you tell us about this one, Dorothy?
Well, this is Fish Beach, and actually this is Swim Beach, and that's Manana, the little island on the other side, and it's a perfect harbor here where we come in, and these boats have all been out fishing. Fishing is in a bad state in Monhegan now. The fish are disappearing, but there are a lot of people that do go out and take a pleasure in small fishing,
All right, and over here we have Jane and Paul's Farm. I think a lot of folks in town know Jane and Paul's Farm, buy a lot of produce there. That looks very familiar. What can you tell us about how you did that?
Well, I love Jane and Paul's Farm. I think it's a privilege to have all these wonderful, wonderful vegetables. And I just enjoy the children going there and getting the pumpkins. It's just a good atmosphere. And I just stood over here and just painted it, sketched it, and, I enjoyed doing it.
looks like you enjoyed doing it. A lot of pumpkins. Now, there was a little rumor going around this year that with the bad weather in the spring and everything, there weren't going to be many pumpkins. But I went by Jane and Paul's the other day, and there were a million pumpkins in this field.
We went over on the holiday, and it was absolute madness.
Well, we're in the meeting room now, part of the library, where you have the major part of your artwork, and we're looking at Misty. I'm not sure what that said.
It's just the harbor. Yeah, and it was a picture taken by my daughter and her friend, and I was very proud of it. The atmosphere was foggy, and it was just soft, and it was warm. And this couple is down here with an umbrella way down, and it just spoke to me. And there's Banana over there, the other island. It's just came out, I think, very well.
And let's just move on to this one, Dorothy, just for a few seconds. This one right here, the 9/11 tragedy, hard hats clean up. Obviously, people all over the country will identify with this painting. What inspired you to do this one?
Well, just the horrible tragedy of the whole thing was just so awful, and I just wanted to speak about these brave men, especially after seeing the movie of the firemen that were there risking their lives, and it was just so, and the smoke coming up and all the action that was going on, and just devastating, just terrible. And this was a picture taken by the photographer in the Boston Herald, and he and I are personal friends, and it was on the newspaper. I actually copied his picture. But there was no way I could do it otherwise. But I don't know, I think it tells your story.
Well, thank you very much for that. I actually walked through here earlier, and I had a few favorites, actually, as I was looking through, so maybe this one here, it's the Lobsterman at Dawn on Mohegan Island. Tell us a little bit about that. I used to have a cousin who was a lobsterman down in Rhode Island.
Really? Well, it's very interesting. I kind of wandered around a lot by myself. I get up early, have a little breakfast, take some with me, and stay out on the rocks many, many, many hours. And I'd be out on the rocks, and these men are out there 7 or 8 o'clock, and the sun's just starting to come up, and I'm over here. There's a big rocks here. And I'd get this hi Dottie. So I feel very personal about this. And the sun's coming in on them from the east.
Well, the big question is, did they ever give you any free lobsters?
Not really. You can get on and buy them. I stayed in the inn, and I didn't have an opportunity to cook at all, but I imagine it would take some time.
I'm sure if they saw that picture, they'd give you a whole bunch of them. Now, here's another one that I think I have some very serious questions to ask you about. I know that you're not old enough to remember that picture of Sweet's Farm in 1950. So is that obviously is not done by memory?
What happened with this picture is very strange. I didn't know that I was going to be an artist, but I used to drive up to Star Market all the time with my husband, grocery shopping, and that scene impressed me so much that I came home and got my camera. And then years later, I painted it. I used to visit Sweet's Farm a lot, take a lot of pictures, because I knew it was it was going to go. But this particular one, it just hit my eye, and then I painted it. It was one of my very first paintings.
There are a lot of people in Norfolk who know where Sweet's Farm is, but wouldn't recognize it for what it was. There's hardly anything left to it, I guess. Huh?
Oh, no, there's nothing. It's all houses.
All right, let's move on, Will. Here we are looking at one of Dorothy's very favorites, and it's called After the Spring Storm on Mohegan Island. Why is it one of your favorites?
Well, it just speaks of the island. When I go up there in June, it's very homey, and there aren't too many people, there aren't too many tourists, and I know all these people. And there's the Pink House, which has been converted very conventionally to shingles. But this is the way it used to be. And the storm has gone, the fisherman is coming home, these women are gossiping here, they're on their way to the one little store that's on the island, and the puddles and the sun coming through from the west.
Well, it's very, very pretty, and it makes Mohegan Island, although it's in Maine where it's cold all the time in my mind, it looks like a nice warm place. What else? What about this one here, Dorothy?
Well, this is very interesting. When I used to go there, I used to go down to the little coffee shop there, and this very, very old man had it, and he was a codger, I'm telling you. And upstairs, he had all kinds of Japanese ware and everything that he sold. And he had this window, and I photographed it many times. A lot of these things are just cheap little Japanese things, but they mean a lot to me, and his window means a lot. It is now a gallery, and he has passed away, but I have fond memories of Zimmy. I call it Zimmy's window.
Okay, let's take a little stroll down here. Well, here we are on Mohegan Island again, and we have lupines on Mohegan Island. Dorothy's correcting me.
This I took one day. I was over this side, and the sun was just coming down, and the lupins are everywhere on Mohegan. Well, all over Maine anyway. I think they're so gorgeous. And that's just some of the rooftops, and this is looking north toward Port Clyde. This is really the north side of the island where it's peaceful and quiet. But I just love it.
One of the things about Maine, of course, is along the seashore are cliffs. It's probably more so than any other state. It's known for its rocky cliffs. This is a painting that you did called Cliffs, the seaside of Mohegan. What can you tell us?
Now, there are a series of, that's Gull Rock on the end there. That's the one that Jamie Wyeth made famous. It kind of just sits there, and there's tons of, a lot of seagulls. And then there's Burnt Head, and then there's Whitehead, and I'm standing on Whitehead, and I'm painting, looking back. That's looking south. And you know, it's interesting, when these waves hit this Whitehead, you can actually feel the earth tremble. It's just like that. And then they come back, and then they wash out, and they make all this beautiful design in the ocean.
You know, I bet there are a lot of folks at home who have the question, you know, when you bring your easel out and your paints out and you set it up at a place like this, how long does it take you? How many trips do you have to go back to finish this painting?
Well, I try to work as fast as I can and get the sun.
When the tide comes in.
Yeah, well, I'm always hoping the tide is coming in because it makes all this interesting, intricate wash. But I would say it takes me 3 or 4 hours, and I try to get the colors in first, and then I can go back and do the rocks and just say the light is hitting them from a certain direction because the light changes all the time, you know?
Okay, now here is probably a ubiquitous site in Maine, and that's the site of a shed. They're all over Maine, and probably this one has a particular value to you.
It does, you know. It's so quaint, and I think it's so fascinating when you see the boards with the work on them and everything. I didn't go into too much detail. This is looking north. There's Manana again. I guess so I know every speck of that island. And I think it's rather quaint, and it's just, you know, you run out of subject matter after a while. Although Jamie Wyeth was known to say that he never runs out of subjects when he goes to Mohegan, and I understand. I've been going there over 30 years, and I just love it. Just love it.
Well, this painting is a little bit different than the others. It seems to me a little calmer and almost idyllic in some ways. What were you thinking when you painted this?
Well, you know, the men used to make fun of me when I'd go down there. They'd say, "Dottie, what are you taking pictures for? You can't see," because I'm legally blind. But I'd go home and I'd study, and they were fishing. They don't fish there anymore, hardly. There just aren't any fish. But I just thought this was done a long time ago, and the conditions were ideal. Seagulls were out there, and the fish were there. But it just speaks of Manana and the breakwater and Fish Beach.
This also is a little bit different, it seems to me, than some of your others in that the colors are a little bit muted, they're a little softer, and although it's a little more expansive. I see that it's the courtesy, it's here on loan, I guess, from Philip and Lauren Darling. Now, you've painted it and gave it to them, and they're letting you borrow it.
This is very exciting when you stand up there and you just survey the world. It's just so exciting. And down under this particular cliff is a rookery, and it's constant chatter of the seagulls. A rookery is where the seagulls have their young and their babies and everything, and they're constantly watching you. But here is this surf coming in and just all this wonderful, wonderful turbulent action. And this is like this down below, and then it's up on the other cliff. There's four major cliffs there. And they're terribly exciting, terribly exciting.
Well, it looks to me like a place you could sit for hours upon hours and just look out.
Come out with a book, a couple, and sit there all day and just, while I'm painting, they're down there and we're all just chatting,
Well, it's quite a place.
It is wonderful.
And I think we have just a couple more on the other side, so let's take a stroll over. Here we are again on Mohegan Island, Monhegan Island. I think my whole life I've been calling it Mohegan Island, but I don't even understand.
There's a gambling place, and
Oh, that's probably why I have it mixed up. I spend more time there. That's not true. I hope my wife's not listening. Anyway, this is called Sunset over Monhegan Island, and it's a really pretty painting. What can you tell us?
The people in Monhegan just love the sunsets. I mean, it's a big production. And we used to go out after dinners, and we'd watch the deer out in the meadow, and that was so exciting. Well, the deer are out putting on a show, And they decided they had to get rid of all the deer because they had so much Lyme disease. So they did that. And now, when we go up, we concentrate just on the sunsets. So this is a sunset. Over here, the sun is setting, and all the sky is just filled with color. Now this is a little house belongs to the inn, which is up here. And that man there, you can't see him, but he's there waving at me. He put these, sunflowers on this little bitty deck. And they were kind of unique. I think Jamie Wyatt even painted them because they were so crazy. Those great big sunflowers on this little deck, It's kind of, I always have a story with something. The landing is right here and people come and look the hill. And this is Manana.
Okay, maybe this is where the old saying, what's the old saying? Red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in the morning, sailor's day warning.
It's true. It does happen that way.
Well, a few minutes ago, we were looking at some very nice, calm, and peaceful paintings that you did. This, on the other hand, is anything but. Surf on the cliffs. What can you tell us?
Well, actually, Winslow Homer did this same painting. It's in all his books. But I didn't copy him. I sat right here. In fact, the lobster boat is over here, actually, from here. There's a big jutting up place. And this is just the way it lives. These cliffs come right up, and the water is just pounding and coming back. And you have to kind of catch that action.
Well, I'd say you caught it very, very well. Well, I think that that pretty much covers everything, Dorothy, I'm sure you have more at home. The library's not big enough, perhaps, to put your whole display in, but we're awfully glad that you were able to be here, and that people in Norfolk, come on down, look here in the meeting room at the new public library, and take your time and walk around and look at these beautiful pictures.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for doing such a good job, Donna.
I want to thank Donna Jones. John is behind the camera, making sure that we're doing this right, and so we want to thank Donna. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope people come. It's here until the 27th.
Okay, 27th of October.
Yes, and the library is going to be open on Sundays starting at 15, which is good to know.
Oh, it is good to know, yes. Okay, so there's plenty of time to come on down. All right, thanks, Dorothy.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye now.